In that last video, I jumped the gun a little bit because there's a couple more details I want to get clear first before we move on to Hamilton's method, where what we're dealing with here is a thing called an apportionment problem. And what an apportionment problem is a situation in which we're not entirely sure how to resolve the issue of those decimals, how to handle the fact that somehow we're supposed to allocate 0.37, 0.08, 0.38, and 0.17 of a person. And without considering ableism, I don't know, I'm not planning on like electing any human legs or torsos to Congress just to make sure that these things divide evenly, because I have no idea what a leg would consider to be a good representation of me. I don't know, probably out of running, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, with this, the very lazy way we can try and solve this sort of problem is by dealing with what are called the upper and lower quotas, where we look at either rounding down to get the lower quota or rounding up to get the upper quota. The problem is that even if we do that for something like our last problem, using all lower quotas would get us to 29, which is too low for the amount of seats we want to fill. And if we did all upper quotas, then we would end up getting 33, which is more people than seats. Again, not good enough. So here, and also you can't just look at that and say, oh, well, you know, they're one of them, you could round that up because they're all below half. So following standard rounding, you'd just be like, okay, do we take the biggest one? Should we take the smallest one to make sure that they get their own say? It's murky, right? It's not entirely clear. And that is really the purpose of our methods here, of things like Hamilton's method, which we will finally get to in the next video, which is to try and solve the problem of dealing with these scenarios when there isn't necessarily an obvious answer. I mean, probably if you were someone from state A, B, C, or D, you'd insist that you're the one who deserves the extra allocation, but the truth is, none of them has a foolproof argument for why they should get it. So this is what our methods are for, is being able to make that kind of determination in the fairest way we possibly can.